All right, hey there. Good morning, everybody. Christopher H. with Texas West Capital. It is just after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on Wednesday, the 28th of October, 2020, San Antonio, Texas. Always great to have you all checking in with me. Big move overnight, but again, it doesn't necessarily mean that that is absolutely the top. We had Bitcoin break above its 2019 high on Phoenix, but I can't. I haven't looked at Binance yet, but it hasn't broken out yet on Coinbase, Bitstamp, or BitMEX yet. So we'll see how this continues to play out. That kind of leaves me thinking that we might still have a little bit of upside, so that everybody breaks out above it. But again, my thesis for the week continues to be a weekly close or a weekly wick above the 2019 high, and then a close back below it. And then that way creates a year plus bearish SFP there, which should send price down lower. But we'll talk about that in a minute here. Who's here already? Sean, what's going on, man? Spiral Architects here. Satoshi Ray Bitcoin. Good morning, sir. LG is here. Please don't talk me out of my scalp long from 12.9. Nah, we're going to look at what's going on. Hey there, Hank. Good to see you. Sharon's here as well. Let's see here. Data says confidence is great, but facts on your side are better. Oh, man. Nevlusian, what's going on, man? Tellurider and Zed are here as well. Pixafin checking in from Switzerland. You guys know I love to say that, right? LXT. Darren, what's going on, guys? Said you made 2,000 on my hot takes today. Yeah. Which one was it? Was it the the one from the 8th that it broke out overnight and was up like 100% this morning? What are we looking at here? MGen? Was that what it was? MGen, yes. Yeah, that was a good one, man. That thing just popped up. I mean, it broke out this morning, gapped up 100%. Hit the target box exactly. That's a good little trade right there. So, doing what we were looking forward to do. So that was nice. And the inverse ETFs as well. Nice. Good to hear it, man. Hey there, Brian. Good to see you. My inverse ETFs were bank. I love seeing that. Yeah, guys. So, join us at howtotradetowin.com. We'd love to have you there. Tier 3 is the place to be. I'm telling you now. That's what Darren's talking about there. We do hot takes 3 times a week. I think I have it listed on here for Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, but generally they come out the next morning. So I've just kind of started referring to them as Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But you'll get stock picks, you'll get forex picks, and then you'll get crypto picks as well on that. Again, Tier 3, guys, over 30 hours of educational video content and growing. For Tier 3, we do a weekly live stream where we talk about some things really in depth, give them tips, tricks, and techniques to get them trading right away, even if they've never traded before, get them profitable while they're learning through the rest of the educational stuff we have. And as a matter of fact, that's today. That's Wednesday. We'll be doing that at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you do happen to join at some point, you've always got access to all those previous ones as well. So like I said, well over 30 hours of educational content there, guys. And then, of course, Tier 3 also has chart request and chart critiques and DeFi channel. All of the levels have access to the macro finance, money, and economics channel. I've got a lot more stuff about to start posting in there. If I can do it, before the weekend, I'll do it then. But if not, potentially sometime this weekend coming on there as well. A lot of educational stuff there. So, again, guys, doing a lot here. Just scroll on down the page here. Ooh, come on down. You've got the 3 levels right here. You can get signed up. As you see, we've opened the other 2 one up. I mentioned this on Monday. I'm not sure how long they're going to be open. We've got a limited number of seats in Tier 1 and Tier 2 open right now. And when they're filled, that's going to be closed. And it's going to be closed until, whenever again. Kind of like what we did last time, trying to make sure that we're not overloading ourselves with too many new members at once. So we'd love to have you there, guys. Come join us, howtotradetowin.com. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and just do that right there and throw it right on over here. Let me see here. Oscar, what's going on? He says, deleted the Twitch account, but I'm a refugee on YouTube here. Well, glad to have you joining in either way there, man. Good to see you coming in either way there. Let me see. Let's jump on to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, of course, the talk of the morning. Last night, about 11 o'clock, right about this point here, I posted a BMA, our Bitcoin market analysis evening update. And I gave them this right here. I gave them the channel, the wedge, and the target. And so I said, if we get this breakdown here, I said initially we're going to target this channel support, and a breakdown through that should get us, based on the channel here, at least a minimum of 13,000. Well, $495, $500 below the point of breakdown is what I said. So you had to figure out where that breakdown was, and then there it is. And so that got you down there. Obviously, price has gone a little bit lower. That's perfectly fine. But that was a pretty good move over last night. That would have got you about that would have got you right there around $650 or so, $660 of profitable ability to short overnight. So good stuff here. Let me see. Let me catch up with you guys. Hey there, French Bull. Good to see you. Guglielmo, what's going on, man? He says, just joined Tier 2. We're excited to have you there. He says, how often do you post your long-term views in the various sections of Discord? I saw many short-term 1-hour chart updates. So usually, because this is trading, usually a lot of our views are more shorter term. But we do. I do often, probably every week or every couple of weeks, go in there with a larger view term and just kind of remind y'all what I'm looking at overall. Or if something significant happens on a shorter time frame that maybe changes that outlook a little bit, I'll revert back to it. So sometimes usually you'll see the chart updates for the daily updates. Again, we get up to 20 daily updates there, in addition to everything else, across the stock market, Forex, and crypto and commodities. And so a lot of times, they're 1 hour or 4 hour charts, sometimes 15-minute charts if we're trying to get in a real local movement. But you'll see scattered within there, you'll see often daily charts as well. So yeah. I'm going to try and make it a little bit more, if I can figure out exactly how to do it, but get those longer term views in there a little bit more often. But yeah, usually if they need to be reminded, if I feel it's at a point where it's good to remind everybody of what it is, or if something significant's happened on this shorter time frame that maybe changes it, or maybe makes it possible that it's going to change, usually I'll mention it there. So yeah. Hey there, Sir Hole. Good to see you. Darren's reminding us that move overnight was a $650 per Bitcoin move down. That's right. So, if you were short with some leverage there on a what do you call it? A perp swap or something like that, futures, anything like that, definitely was very profitable movement down. Every 1 week is wonderful. Guglielmo, I will do my best to get that done every 1 week or so. Yeah. I will do my best to do that. I think usually it comes down to that more or less, but I'll try and make it more of an effort to make sure it does. So here we are, guys. Where did price bounce? Well, you see this blue area here. If we zoom out to the daily, this is my default view for today, is the daily. And so as you can see here, we're bouncing right at the daily demand structure EQ right there. And we're bouncing up a bit here. Now, if price closes below this swing low here, this $13,057.09, $13,057.09, if price closes below that today, that'll be a large bearish engulfing channel, or a bearish engulfing candle here at the top. Now, that doesn't guarantee there's a reversal. People often refer to reversal candles, signaling that if the candle prints, then there's supposed to be a reversal. That isn't how it works, guys. What you need to look for is you get the candle that suggests maybe a reversal, and then you need follow through the next day. So if we were able to get this to close down below that point, and then tomorrow's candle close down, another nice supply candle here, that would help to confirm this as a reversal here. All right. This shouldn't have surprised anybody. Again, we're right up against that 2019 high. I can't even think what I'm trying to say here. The 2019 high. We're right up against that. All this other confluence of resistance here, Again, that's right there with this ascending channel right here, or right below that as well. We've got we've also got this ascending broadening wedge that I've talked about before. So that's something to watch as well. So that could give price a bit more room to the upside. Right there around 14,000, 13,900, 14,000 gets you the top of the channel. Above that, depending on how long it took to get up here, maybe the mid 14,000s giving you the wedge resistance up there. So, we'll see how this plays out overall with it. I'm not a huge fan of this wedge here because when you've got an ascending wedge, it should start off your support. And remember, you're looking for alternating touches between support and resistance. I've got this wedge here, just pulling off the this ascending resistance here overall, and this ascending support. But here's the thing: if we come off the bottom here, it's a bottom, doesn't touch the top, comes back to the bottom again. So bottom, bottom, then top, then bottom. So that makes it really iffy right there. And of course you shouldn't go off the top, but even if you go off the top, you've got, top, bottom, bottom again. So again, multiple bottoms, and that isn't a clean move. Again, guys, when you're looking at patterns, you want clean, definitive movement between resistance and support. The cleaner that is, the stronger and cleaner that is right there, the more likely your pattern is going to be what you think it is. It's going to play out that way. When you start having it where double tops or double bottoms along the way without that strong alternating back and forth, that really kind of increases the odds that it's not what you're probably thinking it is. But we've got it up here anyway, just set up there as it is anyway. I'm much more interested in the channel overall, but even the channel kind of following that same issue. Well, actually, let me see here. Yeah, more or less following the same issue. You got touch here, touch here, touch here. Whoops. I didn't get that line back on there. That's all right at the moment. You guys are here. You see it. But nonetheless here, the EQ of this doing a great job right in this area here as well. So I'm thinking, overall, if you're dropping below this ascending channel EQ here, which will probably be right around 12.2, 12.3 by the time maybe it gets down here, I think, you're really opened up to this move down here at 11,452. I mean, watch the top of it first, 730 or so, but I think you're really kind of looking down toward this EQ here. And you'll notice that's right there at that high volume node as well. If you're dropping down below this ascending support line here, and this is a trend line because it has 1, 2, 3 touches. So if you're dropping below that, that's significant. And so then based on the height of this channelish kind of thing going on here, you'd be silly not to look at potentially a target as low as about $3,000, $3,010 below the point of breakdown based on the height of that. If it gets down there, guys. It may not get down there. Again, the fact that Bitfinex has notched a slightly higher high and the other exchanges hasn't, again, it has me kind of thinking that everybody's going to kind of notch that higher high there. They don't have to, but it's a pretty significant area. So if one does it, usually you're kind of expecting everybody else to do it. But that doesn't mean it has to then, rocket on up to 16 or 18 or, all-time high. Oh, what is it? All-time high by the end of this week is what a few of the large accounts keep saying, right? It's Wednesday, guys. They said by the end of the month here, by Friday, whatever. I don't say that to be mean or anything, but it's just at the end of the day, guys, it's such a highly unlikely thing. I can't say it won't happen, but it's highly unlikely. So I'm not even really concerning myself with that anymore. I'm not trading. I would not be trading Bitcoin with the thought that it's going to hit all-time high, by the end of this month. That's just not any kind of risk management in there. It's not prudent trading, I guess is what I should say. Anything that you can do over a long period of time, that's successful. So, Just some thoughts on that. By the way, don't forget, we've got this large, almost 3-month-long bearish divergence here on the daily that I've been talking about. Looks like we're trying to confirm it at the moment. And so if that happens, we should have a lot more than just this little bit down. We should probably at least be looking down here toward that 11,450 kind of area. If this 3-month-long bearish divergence actually plays out, we should be looking for a more significant pullback on that. Let me see here. Casper, what's going on, buddy? He says, busy driving, so we'll be listening today. Well, good to have you listening in, man. Jordan, what's going on? He says, if you take the March high of the DXY and draw a diagonal channel down to the current price, DXY is breaking out right now. Yes, I'm going to talk about that. Finally, that's just the first step, guys. We still need the higher move of the DXY. But, again, I update the DXY there for, in the daily updates there for the higher tiers. And, I talked about that last night. So, we'll even talk about that right now. So, yesterday, I posted this here. Ascending, it looks like potentially, it was up here. I said, well, it looks like it's potentially going to be an ascending triangle. If so, the pattern-based target is right here. And as you can see, it's pretty much where we got. If we count this here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. So, we'll see if we get a 5 up here. Let me see here locally. This is the 1 hour here. If we measure this out as 1, it gives you a short 3. It doesn't hit that 1618. But as I often talk about, these pattern targets are usually wave 3 targets. So it gets you right about there. So if we assume that that's 3 there, then we should look for... And by the way, this DXY move this morning is just wreaking havoc across all the markets there. Stock market dropping, gold and silver just taking a walloping. Forex pairs, of course, Euro USD taking a strong hit because of it and whatnot. Yeah, but anyway, let's see here. We've got the 38.2 to the 50% kind of this area. So if we can get a reversal off here, that would generally be where we'd expect for a wave 4. And then that gives us potentially a wave 5 target here of the red line, 93,722, my red target there. Now that on itself, if we look at this as a 1, 2, and then 1, 2, things start getting interesting here. If we look at this here, that does not give us a 1, 2, 3 target here. Let me see here. Yeah, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives you 1, 2. So this would have to likely be an interior wave 1 with this. You go 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you get this 1 up here, 1, 2 on this. So it'll be a 1, 2 of this, 1, 2, 3, which is just 1, 2, all of 3 here pushing up. So, again, it would say more upside is what would need to be happening there. I'm never a big fan of price, dropping back down below into the channel here. But like I said, the one thing, even though we're breaking through this, the one thing we really need to see is a break above this swing high up here. That's still where we need. So that's 94.742. If we get above that, there isn't much left in any kind of bearish case for price to go lower. If we're getting above that, I'm trying to think here. I think that should just about cement that this is the bottom here, if we can get above that. But, so that's still a long way up there. Now, your 1 hour here, we're declining pretty good here. We're about neutral, low end of neutral, getting ready to continue further down. 4 hour, we're still up and overbought, but, haven't even jumped into overbought yet on RSI, which suggests we have further upside potential. And, of course, that's strengthened by the daily here. And that daily is looking interesting. We've got the breakout right now of the RSI resistance here. So we want to see that hold. We've got price, again, as far as the daily goes, popped up through the pivot. Right now it's pulled back below it. But if we can get a daily close above it, that kind of adds a little bit of confidence to that. Stochc RSI has a lot of room to run there. So, short term, we just need the 1 hour to kind of reset here so it can pop up further. 4 hour has room. Daily definitely has room. And you never know. We could see it getting above here. Until then, it's still possible we could see maybe a triangle printing here. So, as I've been talking about, ABC is an A, ABC is a B, and then we'll get like an ABC as a C, and then D, E. And if that's the case, if we're going up here, we just can't get above this swing high here. If you get above this swing high, that invalidates this triangle idea here. The other thing I was looking at, again, with an ABC potentially here and then an ABC down was maybe some type of flat playing out. But the retracement on here really has me more than iffy on it. Because if we look at the retracement, we're only hitting, let me get over here real quick. We're bouncing right here at the 70.5, and that's a, gosh, guys, I keep telling you, it's a solid wave too. So it didn't even hit the 78.6 off this move here. Now, there's always the possibility that maybe we've got this as a 1 and then an A, a B, and this is a C here as a running flat. But even with that, this large movement here, this large extension beyond this wave 1 really makes it almost iffy for me here. Well, it doesn't make it almost. It makes me kind of iffy for me. Because if we measure out wave 1 here, if this is wave B, if this is wave A on the pullback, that's wave B. Well, I guess not. Okay. I thought it was higher up there, but it's only at the 1.0. So maybe, 1 and then A, B, C. And that actually would follow along more or less with what's going on with the USD yen. USD yen looks pretty similar to this right here. Not quite as high up here, though. So there are possibilities on this could be the bottom here. But until we're getting above this point, I'm still really cautious about it. A close above this descending resistance would be helpful. If we close back down below it, I'm really just going to kind of assume that this channel isn't all that legitimate. Though it does seem to work pretty well, with its support resistance here on the EQ. So yeah, so we'll see how this continues to play out here. It's really going to have to see how the day ends with that right there. But as I've been warning, I think I warned you all. I know I've definitely been warning Discord. I said, if we get this sudden breakup here of DXY, I said everybody's going to take a hit, and that includes Bitcoin. And so, we got that, and of course, everything this morning taking a hit, including Bitcoin. So, we'll continue to see how it all plays out with all this. Right now, I'm kind of looking this. My default right now is this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why I've got this. Well, I guess some other time frame I had it on there. But yeah, it looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4. And if that's the case, again, looking for a 5 down here at this 1 hour demand structure EQ at about 12.8, 10, 12.8, 15, right around there. Which also kind of potentially coincides with this ascending support. Remember that we had this ascending broadening wedge here. So we've got this, what amounts to basically a throwover on a larger time frame. Let me see, 4 hour maybe. Oh, I don't have it set up on those other time frames. But, on the larger time frame, it's a throwover and a large move back down. And usually if you get that, you expect this kind of move. And often it ends up going down below that as well. So, again, just kind of watching how this continues to play out here. If we lose support here at the bottom of this local range here, so basically around 12,687. Again, my thought is we're probably headed down here to the top of the demand structure, 11,730, 11,740 at least. And then I always kind of look down here at the EQ at about 440, 11,450. Now, along the way, you want to be cautious around this area right here, this 12,230. You might at least get a bounce there, if not a reversal off that. But, looking at potentially getting down this far if we lose this swing low over here. Again, if we continue up through this swing high up here, then, initial target's going to be that channel resistance there, which is probably right there around 14,000 or however long it takes to get up there, right around that area right now. And then up here maybe about 14.6 or so as you get to that wedge target up there. The other thing I pointed out to Discord was that on this movement here, we've got all these. Well, as of last night, when I posted it, we had a gap up here. We have a gap there, a gap lower around the 11,300, 11,200 area. And then, of course, we've got this big gap down here at 11,000. 9,600 or so. So we'll continue to see how all that plays out. But, even here on the CME, we've still got this, as you can see here, bearish divergence from August through yesterday, from like August 1st, August 3rd, whatever, through yesterday. Make sure it's down there for one day. There we go. We've got, Stochc RSI well up here into overbought. I'm sorry. OBV, not confirming that higher high. OBV's got a high, a low, a lower high, lower low, lower high. Locally we've got some upward movement here, but definitely not confirming what we've got going on right here. So again, I've got everybody talking about, all-time high at the end of the week and, end of the year and all this stuff. Yeah, maybe. But I'm cautious because we're getting this kind of thing coming across, among other things there, the markets. And again, we've got here in the U.S., we've got the U.S. The presidential elections coming up in about a week. And so that's likely to get the markets all in a tizzy about everything. People trying to position themselves for what they believe is going to happen if Biden wins or if Trump wins. Continued volatility throughout the end of the year. I think that's still a thing. Stimulus hopes, I don't think that's getting passed anytime soon. And especially with a week to go to the presidency, I don't see that happening. And if it doesn't get done there, then most likely, what is it? Probably going to be February before it does. You have to, all this, whoever they say wins the presidency, I'm sure they're going to argue the results. And so it's going to kind of drag it out through into January. And so the markets don't like, indecision. They don't like, volatility. And that's what's going to happen. And so, it just doesn't make it up to a very easy end of the year. All that volatility, I don't think that's a very bullish thing for Bitcoin. We'll see what happens. But again, Bitcoin's still a market as well. And so, as all markets, the more volatility, the less conducive to bullishness it is. So, just some things to watch out for there. Let me kind of catch up with you guys here. Let me kind of catch up here. Zed giving Casper a hard time driving, he says, as he's typing on his text or on his phone. Hank says, I must be a bear. He must be a bear because nobody on his feed is saying that. The highs or whatever. Oh, just some of the larger accounts that I have followed on there. That's who's saying that. He says, so I guess Twitter thinks I don't want to hear that bullish nonsense. Let's see here. Let me see here. Sir Holt says, bullish tweets get followers, bearish tweets do not. They only care about followers, engagement with their egos, nothing more. Yeah, most of them are pretty much that way. But, I can't fault a man's game, right? So, if what you're trying to do is, make money as an influencer or whatever, okay, that's your game. That's what it is. You're going to do what you need to do it. The one thing I can't do that. I've never been that way. I get approached often about pushing things for people, and a lot of times I can't because I don't, it it would come off as me being non-genuine. And so I can't do that. Every once in a while, there's a product or something I believe in, and I'll push it. Like I said, Femex. I love Femex. They're a great group of people, and they offer you so many things the other ones don't. And, the platform tends to work really well. The orders, the order execution is really fast. And, of course, they have that option where you can pay, a flat fee monthly. So if you trade a lot of spot, it becomes a lot cheaper than having to pay commissions every time you trade. So there's a lot of good stuff going on there, but most of them I just turn down because it doesn't fit with who I am. I can't just post something just to get people to follow or to get excited or whatever. So and that bothers a lot of new traders out there. We see that with some of the comments I get. People that haven't traded other markets, people that are really just looking for some confirmation to their bias is what it is. So, it is what it is. And so my follower count always stays pretty low. I think I'm only at like 21,700. And I've been doing this for 3 years, guys. But I also don't post all the time. So, I do a lot of work with TWC, what we do over there. So I don't have a lot of time to post stuff. So I post stuff when I believe it's relevant, something's, important to say. I don't just post a lot of nonsense usually. So, yeah, it is what it is. As far as the counts go, I'm glad you guys are following along. I appreciate that. Even if you don't agree with me, again, guys, I'm not here to, I think that's where a lot of new traders have a lot of issue with it is because, they think I'm going to try and convince them that they're wrong. And they have such an emotional bias to whatever their position is, opposite of mine that, that bothers them. And I can see that. But I'm not here to convince anybody I'm right or they're wrong or whatever. I'm just here to say, hey, listen, you're here to hear my thoughts. Here are my thoughts. More importantly, here's why I'm looking at things this way. Learn a little bit here as far as the stuff goes. It doesn't mean you're going to see the market the same way I do, even if you understand, the indicators and market movement the same way. It doesn't mean you'll see the same thing. So that's what it's about here. And but it's sad, that unfortunately we, a lot of people that could be quite great people, to have around, just take that position because maybe my overall thoughts are different than theirs. By the way, guys, I am not bearish. Again, this seems to be something that traders are having a lot of tough time with, new traders, because they assume because I say, listen, there is this bearish case. And I could see it playing out because of everything else that's going on macro-wise. But that doesn't mean I'm bearish. But yet they take that because I'm not sitting here going, bull, bull, bull. It says continue up, continue up, continue up. Instead I'm being more level-headed and say, well, listen, if we're going to do this, then look here and there. If it gets above that and validates the reversal, that's great. Here are the targets to the upside. If it comes down and breaks through the validation level to the downside, here's your targets to the downside. But, it's a hard thing to deal with sometimes, for people. To get beyond that, everybody's so bearish or bullish or whatever. It is possible to have an opinion, guys, and even a longer-term opinion, and still be able to trade something different on a shorter time frame. Or to at least be, more indifferent on the lower time frames, as far as knowing where your targets are. Again, guys, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your opinion is. The importance is your opinion gives you a place to start. And it gives you immediately an invalidation level. And if you go through the invalidation level, understand where your target's going to be the top side. I do this consistently. If your position was to the downside, if your targets are to the upside, because you've got some bullish count or something that you're looking at, make sure you understand where it becomes invalidated. And if it becomes invalidated, make sure you understand where it could potentially go to the downside. As long as you do that, guys, all you're ever doing is looking for a movement through an invalidation or a validation level. And then you've got targets. And it doesn't matter what your thoughts are if you're bullish or bearish. But if that bothers you, like I said, it shouldn't, but if it does, you really need to check your emotional ties to the market. Because what that usually suggests is that you've got too much money in the market. That you're really up there, you're emotional, you're dreaming. And so you take it really hard when something is said opposite of what you're thinking about. And what that does, unfortunately, is it increases your bias even more, which means you're more likely to ignore the signs that something may be happening. Remember, there are no guarantees in the market, guys. Don't care how long you've been doing it. You don't have a crystal ball. And if you do, please hit me up, man. We can talk. But so that's why the risk management is so important. Let me see here. Jordan says he deliberately searches for bears. Let's see here. Sir Hole, what's up? Says Chris keeps it real, hence why I always show up here. Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you getting that. I do. Let me see here. Let me kind of catch up with you guys here. Talking about ISO's mango claw addiction. Yeah, I use the word addiction. I love Crypto ISO, man. He's a good guy. Trader XO as well. And, if you're in Discord with us, sometimes they show up there when they've got time, when they're not too busy doing all their other stuff. So, yeah. Let me see here. Eli believes that you should be selling now and buying after the elections. Why? I mean, like I said, any idea of a stimulus, I doubt there would be any stimulus thing coming out until probably February if it doesn't do it before the presidency, because then you're going to have all the contest of the results there afterward, which keeps the market in limbo. So, and then you don't get, a lot of president doing a lot of anything on that because they're too busy contesting the election. So I don't know that you necessarily just buy it. I mean, I would never just buy or sell blindly anyway. Definitely look for some confirmations on that. But right now, across all markets, things aren't looking all that great. Bitcoin's had a little bit of a push here lately. Maybe it's the last to fall in line, right? Bitcoin is the smallest of the markets. Smaller than the stock markets. It's smaller than gold. It's smaller than silver. So, maybe just is the last to follow through, or maybe not. Again, I've told you guys, my thoughts on gold and silver, and stocks going down, DXY going up and whatever. I said of all those in Bitcoin, I said Bitcoin's the only one I could see that maybe might have a chance of rising with the rising dollar in that particular dollar deflation scenario. But that's still opposite of what should generally be expected to happen if dollar deflation hits. We should expect everything denominated in dollars to go down, the prices to go down, because the value of the dollar is increasing, strengthening. So, again, just something to think about there. By the way, guys, if you're looking at the DXY and stock market and correlations and all this stuff, please stop assuming that correlation means that they have to move tick for tick. When you're looking at correlations, you're looking over a period of time, do you have the DXY trending up and stock market trending down, or gold trending down, or Bitcoin trending down? Not, okay, the DXY popped here, so they needed to drop right away, and then whatever. Because a lot of times you're going to have sideways, and when the DXY is going sideways, that gives everything a little bit of freedom to move. So you might get some movement up or down, even when the DXY is trending sideways. So make sure you guys understand that if you're talking about correlations and stuff. Hey there, Devin. Good to see you. Scott, what's up, man? He says, I do enough nonsense posting for all of us. oh, enough nonsense posting for all of us. Oh, okay. I see. You're talking about what I said earlier about what I was talking about. Oh, man. No. Scott, man, I tell you what, I don't know how you do it, buddy. I am not a social media person. I've got too much other work, I guess, the other way to do that. I try. And it's not that I don't like my followers. I love my followers. They're great people, generally. But I just, I'm not much of a small talker. Not in life. And so it makes it really difficult, to kind of even do that online. So I struggle with things like that. I do. I try to work on it, but I still struggle with it. Let me see here. Casper, you're using predictive text that actually works. Let me see here. What's going on, James? Good to see you checking in. Let's see here. LXT agreeing with the correlation that I just spoke about. Scott, ADHD helps you. I believe that. I believe that. Yeah, you guys, make sure you're following Scott there. If you're not yet, make sure on YouTube that you're following Scott Melker. He just did a stream with ISO. I believe it was yesterday, wasn't it, Scott? So be sure and check it out, guys. A lot of fun time there. LXT has seen that. He says Scott's live stream with ISO was fun. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, I mean, that's kind of where we're at here. As far as everything goes, you know, here on the 1 hour, we've got a bit of hidden bullish divergence here as we come up from these lower lows. And I mean, these higher lows in price here. Let me see if we can do this here. Higher lows here in price, lower lows here in the oscillator. But obviously, if this continues pulling on down here and we get a lower low below 12,773.50, that would invalidate this potential hidden bullish divergence here. Because you've already got the lower lows on your oscillator. So if price, you know, turns off here and makes, if I'm right, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 doesn't actually stop above it. If it drops down even 1 penny below 12,773.50 here on Bitstamp, that would invalidate that hidden bullish divergence. So yeah, you know, again, we have it here on the right here on the histogram of the MACD as well as the MACD. So we'll see what happens here if we get that pullback and decline for a fifth wave, or if this is all one and then we've got a 2 up and then down, or even an A and a B. Let's see. Sure. Let me see here. VAMC's Coaching Center. What's going on? Glad to have you here and checking in. Let's see here. Let me catch up with you guys here. Milker Magic. LXT has mentioned that NDX, NASDAQ is having difficulties to bounce from channel support. Yeah, again, guys, earlier this week, I was talking to Discord, you know, at the beginning of the week, and we had the decline down there, and I said, well, that big decline makes it look like we'll probably have a down week. We can probably expect significantly more declining for the indexes there through the end of the week, and that's what we've got so far. So no surprise there. Again, gold and silver looking pretty, you know, short-term bearish at the moment. I think gold has still got the better chance to potentially have a higher high still coming out of, you know, maybe 2,500, 2,300, 2,500. But we're really close to invalidating that potential bearish move, or that potential bullish move, kind of confirming the tops in. So we'll talk about all that on Friday, of course, there, guys. Same time, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. You know, that's pretty much it, guys. Let me see here. If we look at the other charts here real quick. Let's see here. My Phoenix chart. Yeah, Phoenix was the one that went above, like I said here. It's got 13,764 was that swing high back here in June of 2019. And then, let's see, we've got 13,769. 13,839 today. So 13,839. So, you know, definitely almost $100 more than what that high was there. You know, again, guys, my big thought on everything here really is kind of this idea here, which is that we get a, on the weekly here, we get a higher high above that swing high there, and then it closes back down below it. And so it gives you this huge, almost year and a half, year and a third or whatever, bearish SFP here, which should send price down. Again, that doesn't mean it has to get down below the lows here, but it should give a significant pullback on that. You know, again, the weekly right now kind of peaking out of overbought here on Stochh RSI. Let's see here. we could potentially have a very slight bearish SFP. Sorry about that. Bearish divergence here from back along the week of the 10th of August. If the week ends up continuing lower down there. So that's what we've got for the week right there. Don't forget, the other big thing here is the 3-day is a TD9 right now. So 3 days TD9. I believe it ends tomorrow. Let me see here. It started the 27th yesterday. Yeah. So tomorrow's candle will close this out. And so a TD9 up here at resistance, 3-day. It's pretty significant, but you want to see, of course, follow through with that. So far, again, bearish divergence on the 3-day right now. We've got Stochh RSI is topped out and overbought. So we'll see how that continues to play out there as well. See if we can get that pullback off there. Like I said, I mean, you should be looking around that 11,004, 11,005 area at least on that pullback. And these are just big candles going up here. If you're losing this support here, that's just big candles right there to come on down through, get you back down there. But, you know, again, even that potentially just a pullback before further up. You start becoming more concerned about that upside when you're dropping through this ascending channel support here, as I've been pointing out. So if you're dropping, you drop through the EQ here, that kind of opens up this move to that, mid 11s right there that I've been talking about, 11.4, 11.5. If you continue dropping through this support here, those three touches, makes it a trend. That significantly increases the odds that we're heading down probably toward 8 or 7,000 at least. But even that, again, guys, even that is not bearish. Even that is just potentially a 1-2. So don't assume that just because I say that, that means that it has to be bearish and whatnot. But again, in the same way that we're looking at the EQ there, if we're dropping below this ascending channel EQ right here, that starts putting downward pressure on price. And so you want to be watching this kind of mid 6s area right here. So we've got this here, and then of course back over in here, and you've got the high volume node because of it. If you're losing that, I mean, at that point, I think you're pretty much just at least heading down into this cluster here, if not below it. So there's, as I've continued to say for months now, guys, there's stages along the way. So it doesn't have to play out as heading way down here. But as you get through each of those stages, if you do, then it makes it more likely. Until price is really kind of getting above, again, guys, we look at the possibility. I got to go here. We look at the possibility of this being, an A and then A, B, C. So you get an A, B, C down for an A, B, C up for a B. As a flat correction. I still have people, they're all bullish because of this short-term strong move up, right? But, first of all, these are never really all that beneficial, right? But nonetheless, all of a sudden they're like, oh, so what? There's no more bear case, right? You can't do it anymore, right? No, very much so. In order for you to think this is a 1-2 and then a 1 here coming up, or, a 1, 2, 3 here, in order for you to think that, you have to accept that this is an A, a B, and a C. Well, here's the thing. If this is an A, a B, and a C, and this is 5, this is 3, and this is 5, and it tops out right around this 90% here, this 18.2, or a little bit higher than that, right around that area, that is significantly increases the odds that this is a flat, which again means A, B, and then C down. All right? If you want to say, okay, well then, I don't know, if you want to try and count 5 down here, so basically a 1, 2, 3, 4 is a triangle and a 5. So that gets you 5 down for an A. Well, then you have to have 3 up for a B. Now, if that case, this could actually just be a zigzag. And so you have A, and then you've got A, B, C here. right around this area. And that gets you B, and then you have C, and that C is going to be targeting at least 2,400. So again, there's no, just because price is doing what it's doing here doesn't mean that there's no, that there is no way it could be, what you guys want to call bearish. So just make sure you guys understand that. Again, one of my big issues with this is this right here. If this is 1, the fact that it only gets to the 61.8 is concerning. Usually your interior wave 1, your sub-wave 1, usually ends near the termination point of the previous wave of the larger degree. So if you look at this as a 1, 2, and this is a 1 of 3, well, this one should usually get much closer up here, not get stymied here at the 61.8. And that's what opens up the idea, the possibility that this may be a flap or even a zigzag kind of playing out because of how short that wave 1 is. It doesn't guarantee it, but it increases the odds that may be. If this wave 1 had gone up here around this, 17.5 area, or up here toward the, higher up there toward that all-time high, somewhere in that range there, a couple of $1,000s, I probably wouldn't even be thinking about a possible bearish scenario at the moment. But the fact that it topped out so low, if it's gonna, if you think it's a 1, well, that opens up the possibility there. So, yeah, just some thoughts about that. Let me see here. Philip Peter says, what are your triggers? I see a lot of analysis, but not yet any potential trade setups. What are you talking about here on the stream? If you want to learn, join us over at howtotradetowin.com. We'd absolutely love to have you there. Tons of education, setups, and everything else. Right here, I'm analyzing the market. I'm telling you what we're looking at here. I'm not going to tell you go here or there. Now, at the beginning, I gave you some possible setups at the beginning of the stream based on what's going on locally. So they are there. But, the streams are usually meant to help people understand how to look at the market a little bit better, a little bit cleaner, a little bit clearer. Understand what certain things mean. And hopefully even understand my positions. When I say, well, we've got this possible larger drop down coming, why it's there. It's not just to say it. It's not just pulling it out of somebody's rear end. There is a reason for it. So yeah. Let's see here. Where's your bull-tard count? Chemo says. Well, again, it's the same thing we've talked about, many times before. If you're coming off this, we've looked at the possibility of a 1-2 here, in which case this is just working on wave 3 here. And that would probably get you a wave 5 right around, let me see here, probably right around 21 or 22 maybe, I think. If this is a 1-2 here, kind of heading up with a 3, 4, and a 5. Let me see. Yeah, if this is a, let me see here. If we look at something like that. So that gives you a 3. Yeah, look at that. You're 5 up here right around 21,000. If you count this out as 5 here, and it can be done. We've talked about it before. We've done it before. They can be counted out as a 1-2 there. That would give you a 3 up here at 18,537 kind of area. Sure. You want full bull-tard? $100,000 by December 1st of this year. There you go. There's your full bull-tard. No, I don't really mean that, guys. It ain't going to happen. I mean, obviously, I can't guarantee it won't happen, but something would have to literally break, like major, macro-wise, would have to just break beyond break. Can't be fixed if this was to go to $100,000 by December 1st. And then you don't want to live in that world. If that was to happen, you guys, oh, sure, yeah, I would. What? No. If something that significant was to happen macro-wise, you don't want it. It would completely just throw out of whack governments and international trade and everything, guys. You're going to be finding shortages of anything and everything. It's not going to matter how much money you have. You're not going to be able to buy the stuff that you want to get. A civil unrest at levels that you can't even imagine. I mean, that's the other side of 100K by the end of the year kind of thing. That some people have tried saying too, which makes no sense. So, yeah, you don't want that world. Hey there, J-Flow. Good to see you. It's analysis, market analysis. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Fridays, we do all the markets, stocks, crypto, gold, silver, oil, natural gas. Man, that USD CAD trade we're in right now is just absolutely printing money. Absolutely great thing. Between the DXY popping overnight and the and oil dropping as expected, I mean, that's just been a great trade right there. You'd start getting pretty bullish if you break that high again at 13.9. Yeah, now see, here's the problem with that. Everybody's kind of assuming that means it shoots up, right? But yet all these time frames are pretty high, are pushing pretty high here, and they've been for a while. You've got these long-term bearish divergences, right? So, I mean, what a better place to dump a load of supply onto the market than right there where everybody gets bullish all of a sudden, right? Everybody goes long on that break, and they just buy up all those short orders, all those shorts, and the shorts just keep coming. Next thing you know, they get caught at the top. It's what happened here. Everybody getting all overexcited. So, yeah. Let's see. I appreciate you, Darren. Seriously, appreciate you, man. Let me catch up with you guys here. So that's what we're kind of looking at there, guys. It's 12 o'clock, a little bit after, so I got to get going here. I've got to get everything ready. I've got all the educational stuff that I'm teaching today. Don't forget, if you're Tier 3, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, so just under 4 hours from now, I'll be live for you guys, and we'll learn another new technique or really kind of deep dive into understanding a specific part of the market. And we'll do that with you guys as always. So, I don't know. I see some of y'all have been talking about trying to figure out entries and whatnot. So, I've given you a few things, working with that. That might have to be something I have to spend a little time with. Maybe see if I can put together something more on that. Maybe like a next week or two. But we'll see. I've got a couple ideas for today. So we'll see what I come up with, which one I choose. And we'll be doing that. Again, I appreciate you guys joining in as always. If you jump on over here to howtotradetowin.com, howtotradetowin.com. As you can see, it's right up here, up at the top there in the black. You can get over there. You can join us. We'd love to have you there. Tons of education, over 30 hours of it, 50 plus setups each week. We got 20 assets that we do with daily and intraday updates: gold, silver, the NASDAQ, E-minis, S&P E-minis, Dow Jones, Ethereum, Litecoin, Link. So many different things on there. So come join us. We'd love to have you there. Other than that, guys, remember, no matter how good it looks, there are no guarantees, all right, on the charts there. There are no guarantees. So the only thing you control is how much you lose. That's why I keep harping on you about risk management. It is absolutely the most important thing you'll ever learn to do and then do on a daily basis as a trader. If you don't get that, you're not going to be a trader very long. Or if you're going to be a trader for a while, it's going to be because you keep dumping more money. You keep going to the ATM, pulling out more money to put back into the market and losing it all. And we don't want that, all right? So there you go, guys. Hey, listen, it's hump day, middle of the week. Some of y'all are already through it, so I hope you have a great evening. The rest of y'all, like me, have an enjoyable day. If you're in Discord, of course, I'll see you guys over there in just a bit. Don't forget, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time on Friday. We'll be back here looking at all those markets, all right? You guys have a great day. Take care. Trade safe.